Denis O'Brien. My rank's a little complicated, but when I served in the Navy, I was a torpedoman third class, submarine qualified USS Bang. My basic training was for surface craft Navy. But when I joined a submarine unit, you fill out your dream sheet, they called it, when you went on active duty, because you had to go back to the Brooklyn Navy Yard where I was, and you're thrown in with everyone, surface craft, Airedales, all Navy people in one, and you fill out your dream sheet and you request where you want to go. And I picked, everything was a submarine, Groton, submarine, Key West, submarine, San Diego, wherever you wanted to headquarters. You pick out your three choices, and I was fortunate I got my first choice, which was submarine Groton. Being a New Yorker, I wanted to be close to home. I wasn't married at the time, but I was seeing someone. I wanted to come home on weekends if we had them, and you know, be within striking distance of parents and stuff like that. And then I had to go to 8-week sub school, probably in '66. I went to sub school, Groton, Connecticut. I think I would have been able to make the grade anyway. You had to take a special test for sub school. But since I was in a submarine reserve unit, I just put in for sub school when I was ready to go. It was 8 weeks, and bingo, you just went to sub school, which made me highly qualified to. You can't go in submarines unless you've been to sub school. I believe I took at least 2 psychological tests, each one of them over 800 questions. Now, it's hard to remember because I'm old. One of them may have been for the police department, and one for going on submarines, but I know I took at least 2. And you can't go back, because they ask you the same question about 300 or 400 questions in again from before. You can't go back. You just have to answer everything 100% honest and hope that you make the grade, which I wanted submarines very badly. Obviously, I made the grade. So now we're in sub school. A lot of classroom training. You're taught by a chief in the Navy that's submarine qualified. A lot of sea stories, all good. Pressure tank. That's one of the first things they did, is how much pressure could we stand, and could we stand I use the term claustrophobic. I'm not a victim of it, so I didn't have a problem with any of this stuff. And everyone in sub school made it through the pressure tank. And the escape trunk was very interesting. Again, they took us down in a bell to 50 feet depth in the escape trunk, and we have some really great swimmers in the Navy. These swimmers that will work in the escape trunk was about 125 feet of water, and they would go down free dive 125 feet, no equipment. So for them to do the 50 feet with us free diving wasn't a problem for them. They would pressurize the bell that we were in to 50 feet. You could open a hatch, it would flood up to our necks. There was an air pocket above our necks. We had a vest on, and the trick was to step out of the hatch, hold onto a handle outside on one breath. They inflate your life vest, and by tapping your chest, they told you when to let go of the handle. And we had to start exhaling as soon as we got outside of the escape trunk. At 50 feet, you're dealing with pressures of 50, the water pressure is at 50 feet. As you come to the surface, there's less water on top of you, the water pressure is less and less. If you don't exhale, your lungs could burst. So he starts tapping my chest, I'm blowing out air, and I've never had a very big lung capacity. Up we go, let's go. I'm flying up, and there's a diver. You're passing divers, you're going up, try and exhale all the way. And they also have little pockets along the way that they can pull you into if you were in trouble. I hit about 11 feet of water ahead of me, and I run out of air. And I'm trying to exhale. And what's the instinct? You try and suck in, and in comes the water. Meantime, I made it to the surface. Once you got to the surface, on your own, you have to climb up a ladder, stand in front of a chief, salute him, and he would ask you, how do you feel? And you have to say, I feel fine, and you drop this hand salute. So here I am, half drowned, and coughing and sputtering, barely made it up the ladder, standing in front of this chief, asking me how do I feel, and I don't know how I got it out. I feel for coughing, water. I feel fine. He drops his salute, I drop mine. Now I'm saying to myself, please don't make me do this again. And that was fine. The next time we did it was a stanky hood, totally different process. It's like having your head inside of a bucket full of air, and we had to say ho, ho, ho all the way up. Escape trunk, very challenging. I wasn't that good of a swimmer. They also tested us on swimming, 25 yards, and I made it. Barely, but I did make it. So yeah, it was pretty neat.